the market opportunity. What and how much to buy, when to buy, when and how to buy. This is what we're trying to do around. Now again, we're trying to assessing the opportunity. Where to buy? Do I have alternate suppliers? Supply market analysis, when and how much to buy is second. Doing the market dynamics, where the market dynamics is changing. If some of your items were coming earlier from, let's say, Ukraine or somewhere in that regions around, that market is disturbed. Europe as a whole is disturbed in terms of market. Risk identifications, evaluating the major cost elements. So then outcome should be from these actions. The market, identification of supply, specific or sourcing opportunity. What are the new technologies I think? New products, when and how to buy, condition and constraint objective. So now the very first thing is conduct the market research, assessment part.
Sir.
Yeah, please, just there.
Sir, 1 minute.
Please. Should I take it back?
Your voice is breaking out, sir.
Okay, that's good.
We cannot hear you continuously.
No, let me again repeat them. Am I audible now? Am I okay?
Yeah, okay for me, sir.
Anyone else having same issues?
No, okay for me, sir.
Okay. Maybe I've taken the computer close to me, so I thought maybe it improves. Revati, is it becoming better? Okay, coming back to the market assessments. So we are looking at alternative suppliers other than incumbents. This is going to be the tough job. That means the first you make the slide which I showed you earlier, supplier rating I've done. Now I have to find, guys, do I have another supplier? So that market knowledge, you may have to add one more column, potential supplier. So these are the ones which I've got, but then the potential supplier, then saving potential. Supplier marketplace. Now, the way I used to do around, let me tell you. Obviously, one, I was using the Thomas register very often. Second, I used Compass South Africa, Compass Malaysia, Compass Europe, Compass, many countries, Compass are there, 8 or 10 countries. Then what we were looking all the time was the magazines related to your subject. If you're dealing with energy areas around, or alternate energy around, there are magazines. Everybody puts their own ad there. So that magazine which you feel are relating to yours, you need to have. Last but not the least is to open a marketplace on your website. So that marketplace where you could tell guys, these are the items which we buy. And if any one of you dealing with these items, please post your profile on our website. So that part is important. Now that is easily feasible if you have separate e-procurement. If you don't have a separate e-procurement, ERP, nobody will allow you. ERP is a very secretive data-wise, whatever is in the call around any organization. So you need to have a separate ERP, which connects all your ecosystem. Today, your ecosystem is not connected to ERP. Ecosystem means outside, your suppliers. Your suppliers can't access your ERP. Am I right to say?
Yes.
Yes.
So that means ERP is a holy thing. I will not allow any supplier to get into that, to avoid hacking or something around. So that means you need to have e-procurement where you could do it. Now, e-procurement will not capture data per se. The data is going to ERP, the finance part. But other parameters are there. So there you could allow any ecosystems with whom you make a long-term agreement. You can connect them directly there. Your emails can go through the platform. Your offers can come on the platform. Because then you are connected with your ecosystem, which today you are not. So alternate suppliers and the incumbents are identified. Key supplier market dynamics are identified. I also used Alibaba in those days, but now I'm sure the market has changed quite a lot. So I'm telling from my personal experience, which are Alibaba. And last but not the least, again, I'm saying that we did United Nations Global Marketplace. You could also have your own marketplace online. Your suppliers could do it. And in the magazine, you could say, we on a regular basis look for suppliers. Supplier and user target cost information incoming. Major supplier cost company are available. And the supplier marketplace analyzed. Risk and opportunity. Now, next comes the supply market analysis, segments wise. Since you are not just an Indian company, you're a global. You can't say that everything will have to go from India to that place because of the cost of transportation. So everybody wants in their own region. If the activities are going in Europe, they will love to have in Eastern Europe or something. Asia, they may, okay, India could be the one choice. But other one, Latin America, they will like to give somebody there. So you may have to keep as it is choices in 3 or 4 degrees. Earlier, the concept was before COVID-19, everybody talked of globalization. Now the globalization word is shrinking. Now we're talking of regionalization. So they don't want one global hub, which happened. I know before COVID-19, there was only one global hub. So now people are saying, guys, you could have more global. So that means you have to see the segment. You can't say, guys, with one supplier, I'm negotiating. You're negotiating with one, yes. If the items are required in Asia, this person. If required in Latin America, this one. If in Europe, this is one. So one could come with multiple choices. Now, assess the different abilities market meet the requirements around, and then identify new products and technologies. People must be coming, some or others, with new innovation. If you feel that new innovation is making your product smarter, why not? Understand the conditions and constraints in particular. The overall objective should not be taken off when you reduce the cost and this. If I'm finding a supplier in South Africa and I'm finding a supplier in Brazil or somewhere or Mexico, then one has to see what are the potential risks. Identify opportunities. Factors influencing demand, factors influencing supply. I think this you are already conversing, so I don't need to explain much. Price, this is very basic economics theory when you study in college, so it's very basic. Coming back to the forces, what makes you stronger? Because when we discuss on Monday negotiation, this is going to be there. What makes you stronger than the supply? Look at the bigger picture. It's called Porter's 5 forces. You are the, I want to buyer or procurement as lead for this around. But then there are other people who are competing with in the market. So if other players are competing with you, let's say 4 or 5 companies which are competing with you in India market or abroad market, in supply. Since you are working on a global basis, you may like to put down all the competition worldwide. And then you are buying power. And then if you feel that you are covering 20% of the business, like conventional energy, many Scandinavian countries are much ahead of you. In other ones, you are ahead of it. So each product by product, what is the bargaining power? And market, supplier bargaining power, and then comes the threat of unions. Now everybody is moving into the non-conventional side. Certainly there's a threat of unions. Sometimes you heard around Reliance going in a very big way. Billions of dollars companies are now coming with making for the silicon. wafers and those things are coming for the solar system. It's basically in a big way on the solar system. Because in the small volume, you can't be competitive. You have to be big. So threat of new entrants, pressure from substitutes. So one is in new entrant and pressure from substitute means somebody is coming with the better technologies which could come. So these forces will help us to know, do I have buying power more than my competitors or not? Everybody wants to work with a big guy. That's very clear. If you control around 30% of the business, people will listen to you. If you're controlling only 5%, supplier will love to go to a bigger guy. So this gives you a bigger picture of how we do stand. So trade journals, periodicals, company annual accounts, internet, PLME colleagues, your own college colleagues, the business units colleagues, suppliers, headlines, industry associations, like CII we have around in India, same way we have in other countries. So we could tap them also. Actually, I had used a lot from the embassies also. So when I was in New York, I'll give a message to all the embassies, German embassy, this embassy, can you provide us the suppliers? Everybody wants to tap business. We were spending close to $15 to $20 billion. So we'll go back to them, guys. Can you give us that? We have a project here, and this is the amount, this is the thing. They used to come with a big list to us. Another one is SWOT. Strength, weakness, opportunity. So when I'm finding a supplier, or the country, supplier might be based in a country which is very difficult to work. So that brings you threat. Our supplier itself has got very innovative ideas, good thing, opportunities are there, so I'll take it. But supplier is financially very weak. To me, it's a threat. So similarly, your own threat and strength and weakness also you need. Like your case, obviously with the name of your company, you have a broad customer base. Your established product is a strength. But your weakness could be that you don't come too much innovation. That's it. Traditional unionized business, low patent productions. So that could become the weakness. But then we look around opportunity and threat. So this is your internal, which you have to take care of, your company has to. And this is the one which comes from the supplier and the country where they are based. Your supplier is based in India, supplier is based in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam. Some are moving very fast. Some going down the drains. So those countries which are doing well, companies are doing well, you would like to have suppliers from there. If you're looking at any supplier in Eastern Europe, you'll say, guys, how it is affected with our existing one. Then you would keep distance. So SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, I think we need to work it out for every supplier, what are the potential risks. Here also we could do another one on the same, like the one I showed you, testing. So we have, again, managing the risk and how do I identify and take the opportunities? Let's say political. Sourcing group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have 10 groups around. Then first thing is PESTEL. P stands for political. Politically, if that country is unstable, forget about it. That becomes my risky part. Economical. Is the country doing well economically? Are they growth? Are they going down? Social. So is it easy to move around? Are we a communist country? You can't even move around. You can't do anything. There's no freedom. Technologically, is this country very well advanced? Environmental damage, and the last is legal. Is this country too much legalistic? So all these parameters you need to do through the PESTEL. So we did the SWOT analysis, we did the PESTEL analysis. And this is one when we are plotting the supplier, Now, if supplier is coming into the volume of purchasing and suppliers. So the one which we developed long back, and I got a software that time. So what we do, 80-20 concepts. So my 80% of the spend is here, strategic and leverage. 20% of my spend is here. So some group will come here, some group will come here, and some group may come in two places, no issues. So that means the item which are bottleneck item, low value, but the risk is very high. Search for other options. So we need to find what are the other choices available. So that's what we need to do with that, except for the present situation or do things. Second could be you accept it, let it happen the way it is. But then how do I reduce it? The main is I want continuity. Strategic side, very critical. Search for new suppliers. Accept bad relationship. Build an existing relationship. Leverage the develop supplier into full partners. Make use of market. Because you are the one, risk is very low, you have choices available, volume is big, develop supplier into full play. And the last one is low risk. These items are catalog items. I'm sure some item of yours could go into the catalog item. You could bundle the purchases and reduce the administration. So if it's a catalog, e-catalog, you can buy. So this is summarizing this one. So we have SWOT analysis, 4 to 5 forces, value chain, supplier analysis. Okay, guys, now let's move to the next one. So we talk of collect supplier information. How do I collect it? And how do I rate them? Criteria to appraise supplier. So step 1 was spend analysis. Step 2 was you are doing market analysis. Now, next one I'm trying to say, I've done the market analysis, I found new choices. Now I have to appraise the supplier. So there are 2 words. One is called appraising, other is one called rating. Everybody clear with the term appraising? Appraising supplier. What does the appraise stand for? Anyone?
Appraising of a supplier comes through the KPIs that we set for the supplier against every supplier.
Okay.
Maybe on-time delivery, the quality parameters, attributes.
Okay. Attribute, I think you're right, but appraising word we use only before we select the supplier as a vendor. So till they are not selected vendor, we appraise. But once they become vendor, then we do rating. So rating part, when we say, guys, your performance is poor, I know we do in appraisal also we do rating. I'm not saying that. But the terminology is called appraisal. Appraisal means selection is not done. But once you select it, then they become part of your family. Then we do the rating. Like you do for the staff. Staff, you do rating. You don't do appraisal. Appraisal you do when you're trying to shortlist them, interview them. So keep this in mind. Appraisal word is done. You might be scoring, I'm not questioning. Like 5 people are interviewing somebody, but they're appraising the candidate. But once you select the candidate, get a job around, then we do is a rating. So
Krishna ji, again, it is these are all certain vocabularies, but just check if my understanding is correct. When we say appraise, that is more before we onboard them as our supplier and then start our routine business. Am I right?
Very good. So I do appraisal, and once they become part of my family, they become vendor, then I do the rating. For supplier, I'll do appraisal. For vendor, I'll do rating.
Okay. Got it.
Screen and research. Assess supplier capital. And measure and rate supplier. So this is the most critical one. I'll explain you some sample example from other companies around as well. So in this step, the sourcing team develops supplier survey of both incumbent, you have already supplier, not an issue around, and new supplier. And this helps us to evaluate supplier performance, capabilities, and cost. So if I got 2 suppliers already, now I got 5 more, then you can able around which one is capable, performance wise, and which cost. So the first thing is to criteria, so place, assess supplier capabilities, measure it, locate, all these things. Now RFI, RFP, RFQ, you all know. I don't have to explain that part around, but still let me put it up. RFI is a very standard business process to get in. You don't know about the supplier. You know very well the supplier deals with the item what you're looking at. But then you want to have, guys, give me the answers with this. So you will have a format. Guys, we understand that you are in the business of energy side or non-conventional side. We are looking for these items. In case you are interested, please send us this. Your company size, your business size, and what product you made, what is so special about it, how it is different than others. So you could do all of that. So you are basically looking at RFP. So objective is to gather information. Some vendors will not respond to RFP until effort is excessive. Because many people think RFI is only collection of data, you may or may not do business. You're wasting their time. Particularly if they're a very busy organization. So you may have to call them. But if you are putting in expectations, guys, this is the purpose of RFI is to shortlist. And then those who are shortlisted, the RFP or RFQ will follow. So then people may come back. If you're just saying, can you send me this information? The guy will say, I'm going to spend a whole day. And I don't know whether I'll get business or not. So if you can, language could be at the end, you can say, guys, the purpose of this is to evaluate the market. And those who meet our expectation will get RFP, RFP. So then they know very well there's a carrot. So they will work for you. Now, where to find suppliers, directories, network, financials, organized financial reports around, organization, and process. Supplier research, what do? We look at the cost structure of each company. Suppose if you're doing evaluation of the supplier, you consider them as a vendor. I like to see what are the cost structure, how much is the overhead. I'll say, guys, can you give me the raw material price, direct cost, indirect cost, direct labor, indirect labor, other overheads. So for every product, I'll say, guys, can you give me in percentage? So financial status, is this company financially good? They may have a big name, but money-wise, they're very poor. So customer satisfaction level, support capabilities, relative strength, and buyers fit with us. Next comes, how is the buyer company is viewed? Core capability of the company. What is so special about this? Strategies and future direction. What are they planning in the long term? Company culturally matching with us. You are a multinational company. You have your own culture. Another company is a very small scale setup. They don't know about anything on legal law, something. You say, guy, give me a contract, I'll do it. So culturally also you have to see whether they fit with you or not. So some of the criteria were on product range. If the company has got multiple range, product range, minimum qualities around, minimum maximum quantities available around, delivery lead time, is it 7 days, is it 15 days, is it 30 days, or 22 months, maximum acceptable price, and payment conditions. Oral reputations, business relationship, location and exporting experience, type of company, size, e-commerce link. Then I'll go down to the one which I use very broadly, 10 C's. So wherever we are doing automation, in automation, we are going with the 10 C's. All C's are there. So I'll explain you those C's. So then the question are framed based on the seals. So tomorrow, if I ask AI, when AI can evaluate your income tax return file, if I can get the right answers to each one in a very proper format, my AI can score it. Not a big thing. I'll say competency. I'll explain each one. So next slide. Competency, capacity. Competency means, is it competent to do the job? Capacity means in terms of volume. Commitment, are they serious to work with us? When commitment, how will you check somebody's commitment? Anybody can tell me, how will you check commitment? Are they committed to work with you? How will you assess? Any parameters you have in mind?
Responses to our queries.
Okay, excellent. So the guy, you movement is sent, within 1 hour, the reply comes. And even tries to call you in case you want to get more clarity. That shows commitment. Am I correct?
Effective suggestions provided by the supplier towards our
Certain, towards your worker. Control. Do they have too many controls? Are the company control freak? If there are too many layers, it's a control freak. Cash. Financial. Cash does not mean the cash investment. Financial status. Do they have enough? Are there any losses? Cost of the company. Consistency. Culture. Clean and communication. So let me explain all of them. So this is the competency, mean my needs are X, Y, Z. This supplier kept me against my needs. It can match up my requirement in terms of specification, in terms of international standards. Like if I want to supply any item to Europe, it has to come as per EU standard. Capacity to handle your funds. I need 10,000 pieces every week. Can this company give me? If not, out. So commitment shows commitment to users. Control the policies, the procedures, and security. Cash is the financial strength. Cost means total cost. How much is the margin? If somebody says I'm working without margin, then I also will not accept. Every businessman is not a charity. So there is a margin, but how big it is? Is it 5%, 10%, 20%? So 5-10% is reasonable, but more than that is a question. Evidence, TQL, culture, share similar values, and ethics also. Clean means sustainability, environmental laws. So those are the requirements. It's communication, set up and manage appropriate channel. So we have an example of appraisal criteria. So when we're doing appraisal, I can look at technical performance of the company before selecting them. So product reliability. Then I could have for each one score points. So appraisal also can go with the points. It's not an issue. So I got 10 points, I got 10 points, I got 9 points. So within product reliability, I'm showing failure rate, 3 points, low outage rate, 3 points. Again, durability of equipment. So same thing we have put down now in the case of evaluation, technical performance, product reliability, lead time to delivery, continued availability. So within technical support, we got 4 bullets, life cycle cost again with 5 bullets around, and then you score each one. So more it becomes, appraisal becomes very mathematical, it's more transparent. Financial statements. The balance sheet shows the financial situation. The profit and loss accounts. Now here, I don't know whether you guys are doing it or not, but this is a very good one. You don't want to land up with a contract with the company who's financially zero, is already getting bankrupt. The question is, how do I check? Do I hire a consultant to tell me whether this company is becoming bankrupt or what? So current
See-
ratio, yeah, go ahead.
So is there, how do we measure a company's financial strength? Is it based on EBITDA, or how they perform for the last 3 years, and what is their investment percentage over the R&D team? What are the parameters do we check out?
Then you can look at earned business profit around before this tax. I'll say the one which we use personally or we advise. Look at this. We call the ratios, current ratios and asset test ratio. Current ratio is my assets divided by liability. Any company, if
Okay.
their assets are more than liabilities, they're okay. They can survive. Nobody can close them. Similarly, if assets may be useless assets sometimes, so we can say, guys, current asset minus stocks divided by liability. If this is more than one, certainly companies. So many places we have gone even with this one and some places. So that shows the ratios for solvency. If company is able to have enough assets and liabilities are less than that, great.
Sorry, can you come again?
So what we look around is the ratio between the assets and the liability. If you have a balance sheet, in balance sheet on one side we got assets and liability.
Yes.
So divide the two ratios. If it is more than one means you have assets.
Yeah.
More than liabilities. Let's say if today every house has got some loans, some houses, EMI, but they have an assets.
Yes.
So assets totality basis are more than the liabilities. You can't get close. You can't be bankrupt.
Okay.
So that's the way we look at it. But if assets are zero and you only have liabilities, you could become bankrupt anytime.
So I think then current ratio should be more than 1. And what about the asset ratio?
This also should be around a one. If it is more than one, excellent. That means this is more precise.
Okay.
Rough estimate. Because let's say I got a company with assets of 40 million, but out of 40 million, 20 million are useless. They're not going to sell. But I'm not writing them off. Because the
Okay.
moment I write it off, my company's stock market goes down. Am I right?
Yes.
So this is where some game plays. I have to face many banks in India.
Okay.
They got many loans which are not going to come. But they show them active. So their current ratio becomes higher. But the moment they start showing it, this out of this $50 billion, $1 million, 20 is not going to come, straightway they get a hit of 30 million on the profitability. Am I right?
Correct.
And if you are the CEO of a company or chairman of a company, you will not like to expose it. The day you expose, your job is also gone. So there are many people sometimes, not that they are stupid, they don't expose how out of the current asset, how many stocks are useless. No banks tell you. But anyway, being in procurement, I will go with the current ratio. If it's more than one, great. And this
Okay.
one also is more than one, excellent. I would say much better. More the merrier.
Okay, sir.
And this you can do very easily without knowing a finance knowledge. Just look at the annual report. And obviously in the very first column, assets divided by liability. Total assets, total divided. Coming back to appraising supplier. We have how a supplier will perform. That's our purpose of appraisal. The basis for developing a list of approved suppliers. The basis for developing a supplier development plan. If I find this supplier is gone case, but still the product is the best, I can work on. A basis for developing a vendor rating system. Vendor rating is done after this. We've given a business and they've done a bad job. Am I clear on this point, vendor rating? So supplier appraisal was before placing order, and this one is after you have placed order.
Exactly. Yes. Before placing order and after placing the order, we should do the
That
vendor
is
right.
right.
Yes.
So here ratings, I'm used to it, always 5. 5 mean highest. Like a 5-star, like hotels you must have seen, restaurant you must have seen online. You can see the rating, am I right? 4.3, 2.6. and people have their comments.
Yes.
Basically same, nothing there. So coming back to the, again, determining the appraisal criteria, performance we're looking at, capability, multiple. Now, motivation is the one which is a very tricky, how do you find? But if you have found some common sense, great. Okay, coming back to supply chain. This is very important now. I think I'll spend more time on this. So what is supply chain? So what we did around, again, let me go back. This is the fourth step. First step was identifying opportunity, internal opportunities. Which are the area where I should work, where I should focus. Then we did the spend analysis. Second step, we said, guys, what is the market price? And then we said, guys, no, okay, we got 20 more suppliers. Let me get the feedback from them. And that helps me to do supply market. Then I'm coming back to the previous one. So if you said, you were looking at the performance equation. Now coming back to strategy. So what is supply strategies? What is positioning model? What is supplier perception? And supplier and buyer relationship. That's what we are looking at as of now. So when we talk about supply strategy, let's see what it says. Different sources, different categories of goods and services. You spend your time and efforts. If you feel I'm wasting my time on this, then you put your efforts where it is most needed. Step 4 is the development of sourcing strategy. It's a combination of the first 3 steps: internal assessment, market assessment, and update. So all 3 we are together. The first thing is internal assessment, market, which we got from this guy, the need. So we got the market assessment and we'll update it. The sourcing strategy for a category will depend on 3 things. How competitive is the supply marketplace? How aligned is to the organization? What alternatives do? So this is where we get stuck many places. If the one which are very critical suppliers, people don't want to cooperate. What does it mean? Knowing strategic supply strategy. How many supply market segments to buy from? How many suppliers to buy from? What type of relationship to have? What type of contract to have? Should I go with a fixed price? Should I go with cost reimbursable? Should I go with a time and materials contract? That's what we do. So now comes the next one. Which operation to scale? Now here comes supply position. How do I position the supply of my different sectors, different groups, or different categories, or even items? So what we are looking at, annual expenditure, how much money we spend. So we have potential impact on not meeting the supply targets, supply opportunity and risk. Everybody can see this slide? You have a copy of this also.
Sorry, that's it.
So here we got 80% of my item value and 20% of the value. While on the left side, I got bottleneck item, routine item, value-wise 20%, 80%. Now this is called Pareto analysis. Now Pareto analysis, he was an Italian guy. So he said, guys, the common people are looking at everybody as same. For them, 200,000, same process. 5 million, same process. 10 million, same process. except the approval chain, otherwise rest everything is same. So we have leverage, critical, bottleneck, and everything. And this is the man, Peter Krausick model. The guy is based in Germany. And later on, he went down to, he was a consultant. Then he joined Harvard as a professor. So he still works around. So we have bottleneck category, strategy category, leverage category, knowledge. Am I guys clear on this part? And this is important. I don't want to rush through this until you understand. 80-20, everybody understood? Everybody clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, Kumar. Thank you, everything. Again, I think the picture speaks itself. The leverage means I'm hammering on dollar. I can hammer it because I have multiple choices. Critical means I've got only one or two suppliers, and if they fail, I have a problem. How do I survive? I have a bomb at my back. Anytime it can explode. If it works well, people say, oh, you did a great job. But the moment it doesn't work, I'm out of the job. The bottleneck means the guy is really disturbed and upset, and so the guy needs, I'm calling as a bottleneck item. Routine means the guy is at the sea beach, still enjoying, nothing to worry. Now to do this, I think what you could do, if I am the contract category manager, I'm a category manager or sourcing strategy group around, for my group, I'm buying, let's say, 40 or 50 items. I list down all the items, all the high value contracts up, low value. So once you're done for all, let's say 100 items, you will find the top 20 out of 100 will cover 80% of the value. And the bottom 80 contracts, if you put them into descending order, they'll cover bottom 80. Am I clear on this point? Any other questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So we got same clarity given by Peter Krausick, but he was a man who started this concept. Actually, if I look around worldwide, strategic sourcing and category management came to a lot extent either with ISM USA, or ships UK, or came through this Peter Krausick. I would say if you look at the three big names, which comes here. So now you can see this one, routine, low values, low risk, leverage, low risk, bottleneck, high risk, critical. And then we have got non-standard purchases around. So standard item we buy through this. And then we have many other things around, low values, low value. So low value is the one, the last shoes around. Now our strategy. How do I bring critical into this? That's a place where I'm making sale. How do I bring bottleneck to this? And then how do I shift routine to this? So keeping this in mind, let me ask you again the question. How will you bring critical to leverage? Anyone? You are the boss and you've been told, guys, I've got critical 8 or 10 suppliers and I have to move to leverage.
Find alternate source. And have a backup.
Okay, so you will have a backup. That means you have to identify more choices around. Now, the way I did around long back when as a research and development head, no risk means I got 8 or 10 suppliers. No risk. L means I went around in those times. I said, got 4 suppliers. It's a low risk. 3 suppliers mean more risk, medium risk, and H means 1 or 2. If I got only 1 or 2 suppliers, my risk is medium. So now you can see around how it,
Relationships.
this guy is good. And in the relationship, it's way you look around. First thing is spot purchase. It's purely mechanical purchase. I'm not looking for a relationship. But I'm looking for a relationship when I go to the right side. Regular trading, no relationship. Call off contract. Call off is used in Europe. It's a long-term agreement. If I'm signing a contract for a year, 6 months, 2 years, I want a good relationship. Fixed contract, partnership, joint venture. So once I know this definition, 80-20, this definition also I tell you, if this is less than 3, it goes up to 3 is this. So the moment I add development and core, it becomes a big business. Then we have weighted scoring, value judgment. So here I'm going with the lowest price in the routine item. Here again leverage item, lowest cost of ownership. So the leverage item I go with this one TCO. Here I don't have a competition. Now you want to work with suppliers, unsophisticated, sophistication level, and material. Materiality means how much I'm spending. Yeah, sophisticated, I like to do supplier collaboration. Sophisticated, I may like to do, but again, volume is less. I like to do supplier money. Here also I do supplier relationship. But the supplier development part is the most serious. So that's where I would call strength. Now let's look at the other ones, supplier perception. How supplier perceives. So we are looking around supplier perception, how they perceive us. If my volume is low, risks are low, they know very well I'm not going to worry around. But if supplier risks are low, but money involved is very high, then I can try to explain. So the team of 10 or 12 gundas, they'll come, they'll try to explain. Core is the one, it's good company, good supplier. The only problem is I got only one choice or two choices. Okay, guys, now we come to the next one, solicit and evaluate. Now coming back to solicit and evaluate, methods of procurement, solicitation process, reverse auction. Are you guys using reverse auction?
Yes, sir. In one of our projects we used recently.
Or you use it? How good it is? Good for your application?
Yeah, in our UK plant they have used for kind of
Okay.
heavy fasteners.
So you're using for low value items or high value?
I know low value, but standard items. But value is high, but it is not a risky item.
So it is basically for standard item, but not the
Standard
value is
item.
not the main.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Now coming back to solicit and evaluate. This calls for preparing RFP, RFQ, which you all know, am I right? RFP, RFQ, everybody knows. One is quotation, one is proposal. Am I correct? Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Yes, knows it.
But That's a very basic of procurement. Then we are talking around, if this is there, it helps us to give a level playing. That means we all get same thing and enable the bigger audience arrive at an optimum selection. Request for proposal, RFP. So RFP, RFQ. I want to hear from you. Where do you use RFP? Where do you use RFQ? Any one of you? When to use RFQ? When to use RFP? Anyone?
When we just have a proposal, sorry, when we have just have a concept and we need to work on those budgetary estimations, then we go for a proposal. And once we fix up the specifications and the specs is freezed for us to go ahead and then purchase the materials, then we use the RFQ.
Okay, those specifications which are very tangible, very clear, we go with the tangible, all right? RFP, RFQ. But where you have, we are looking for a solution. Proposal means you're looking for a solution. Some guys may come with a very innovative solution. So those solutions are coming under RFP, basically for services. Can I say that? One for services, one for goods. But services also where you're looking for solution. If service is very well defined, I can do through RFQ also. Are you following that approach, or you're following, okay, all services RFP, all goods RFP? Is that the way?
May not be, sir.
May not be. So it depends on the criticality and the clarity of the subject.
Yep.
If specs are very clear, you can do what you like. Request for qualification or request for quotation. And here we got bids, RFP, RFQ. You don't use the bids. Am I correct to say? You're using only RFP, RFQ. Is it right to say?
Yes. Yes.
So quotation is for normally tangible item, non-tangible, you go to RFP. And within RFP also, which are non-tangible but very clear, you could go with RFP. RFQs are generally used for pre-qualified, for vendors, for use and future use. Okay, guys, process. Somebody has to prepare the solicitation. Everybody knows the meaning of solicitation? Anyone? What is solicitation? Solicit. I'm soliciting offers. What does it mean, solicitation?
Try to get information.
Yeah. So
No,
soliciting, you are looking for an offer, right?
Yep.
From there,
Yeah.
as per your template. So solicitation process is more of an offer. So we are doing around this getting the phase, tender phase, awarding phase. So this is one that recently you did, guys. Then we have got solicitation document which covers this thing. Do you have a template for solicitation documents? RFP, RFQ, you have this? Do you have a template for both?
No, sir.
No, template.
We don't use templates. Or
But don't you think then there's a problem with standardization? Somebody will come with a very detailed, some will come very little. Then it may not give a good understanding. I'm confident your headquarters will have G.
Yes. We will have it, sir. We will have
Yeah, because the scope of
quarter
the, So you need to have the scope documents. What does it cover? If I got a solicitation document, solicitation.
We have a general terms and conditions of GE.
Okay, but not the template for this one. Because I was saying that the two things. One is the terms and conditions, which is a boilerplate which goes to everybody. Terms and conditions for goods, terms and conditions for services. The next thing is the template. How do you ask specification? If you are writing to me, Krishnan, we want some offer of you. And your offer should cover this. There must be that.
So we have a template. Say, for example, transformers. They are not our design products, but we have a specific spec document which we will give to them, give to the suppliers, with which they comes with the offers.
Okay, so you have that.
Yes.
Because without that, otherwise, Lalita will follow one. I'm tomorrow join you. I do different way. Everybody does different way. So you need to have a common understanding. Otherwise, audit will say, guys, you are asking very little. And this could lead to legal cases. Invitation and description. So you're looking for transformer, say, guys, we are looking for a company who can help us in building in the transformer construction work, us fabrication work, general terms and conditions you have, very correct. Pricing template, how do you want the price? Do you want a lump sum price? You want splitting of the price? So the pricing template, you will have to decide.
It comes with a GTP and pricing.
Pardon?
Guaranteed technical parameters and then a pricing. Pricing, we ask for normally the cost breakdown, but some suppliers give it and some suppliers give a lump sum.
Okay. So I'm just putting on the few of them, functionality of the product. Now, functionality means the product which you're looking at, what do you want this to do? What is the function? And what is the performance indicate? Give us a price, total cost of ownership. So they can give you price and TC. Hey guys, I'm going to buy this item I'm buying a server. How much is it going to cost me in 3 years? Total cost of ownership, cost drivers, and risk associated with product assessment. The type of management you have, awarding concept, closing and dealing. So the management part, you manage these offers around, award the contract, closing and dealing. Reverse auctions, how many of you are using reverse auction? I think every company in America does reverse auction. Are you guys having it or not?
We have a center of excellence team who runs the reverse auctions for us.
So they do reverse. So whenever you tell them, they will
We
organize.
give a requirement. We give a requirement to them, and they do the reverse auction for us and submit the report results.
Very good. Buyers and suppliers able to communicate in real time, worldwide via the internet. Suppose you have found 4 suppliers.
We were using for scrap-based
Oh,
agreements.
you reverse. Excellent. So that is not reverse auction, that is e-auction. But both are same, process is same. So one is a reverse, one is auction. So auction, you all know in the movies we see around somebody's house being auctioned, movies being painting. So that is electronic auction and one is without electronic. Now here we're talking electronic reverse auction. Reverse means procurement. Auction means selling. So you're very right, when you're selling the scrap around, we use the word e-auction. But for procurement, we call the word e-reverse auction. And like we say, procurement and marketing is 2 sides of the coin. So today your buyer, in front of you, supplier sits. So if you change the seat, supplier becomes in your seat and you become the marketing guy. So it's basically 2 sides of the coin, nothing different. And skill sets are more or less common, except marketing guy has to be extrovert, very good communicators. Now I think same skill sets are required in procurement also. Development of robust, user-friendly third-party auction system, significant improvements in goods and service quality. I think it is a beautiful tool, as I said to you, even Government of India, when they use on the GEM, if I have got 5, 6 suppliers, I'm sitting in any part of India, and it's a, let's say, government funds, then I can say, guys, these 5 suppliers will go through reverse auction. And within the reverse auction, who gets the best deal? Benefit of others, I'll say, let's say, one company has quoted 1.5 million. One has quoted in RFQ, quoted 1.3. Other one has quoted 1. So the lowest is 1. So the starting point would be 1 million. Then everybody will go through the round. Some who feel I cannot do at 1, they're out. But those who feel there's a potential and they want to get business with you, then you will tell them, guys, every round, the reduction has to be minimum 5%, or 2%, or 10%, whatever you decide. So if I'm doing it around 1 million, okay, now 5% reduction, so that means I have to go to 999,500. So second round, third round, and then everybody gets exhausted. The lowest price what we get is a family. But certainly it is used a lot for sales, auctions, scrap, even our spectrum also, 2G, 5G, 4G, 5G. So when 5G spectrum are sold, it's through auction.